So, good morning one more time. I said it's strange for me to speak English to Polish public, I guess majority, but I was asked to speak English. So I will speak today about food sovereignty and family farm based on Polish example. It's not working. So I want to first say that my talk is based on my life experiences, and I am 56 old, and I grew on small family farm, and I also have now family farm. I run this farm 15 years, and also on 7 principles of food sovereignty from Via Campesina, and document from European coordination via Campesina towards a common agriculture and food policy 2013. Via Campesina is international movement with 150 organizations from more than 60 countries all over the world. And Via Campesina means peasant way. So what is food sovereignty? Often we hear from politicians, from representatives of corporations, from clerks about food security. And they use name food security and recently very much genetically modified organism, GMO, to control food chain. And so what about GMO? Why we don't like it? All over the world, there is protest and organization, farmers, consumers who are protesting against GMO. And corporations are very heavily promoting GMO as a solution for world hunger and for climate change, solution for everything. It's not true. In fact, GMO is causing not only health problems for people and animals, destroying environment, but also causing very serious social and economical problems for small family farmers, millions small family farmers all over the world. So that's why farmers and producers and consumers are protesting. And because of corporations pretending that they want to feed the world, and they never discussing why in this world where we produce enough food, we produce too much food, we destroy a lot of food, tons and tons of food is destroyed every day, why hunger exists at all? And corporations are supported by big international organizations like World Trade Organization, like World Bank, like International Monetary Fund. And the goal is to control food chain production. And that's why, because this is international corporation and international organization, also international rules has to stop it. So we have to realize that food sovereignty is the basic human right. And we are tending to forget that, first of all, food is source of our nutrition. And then, after a long gap, this is the secondary item for trade. And the farmer's farm is not production line. This is the way of living. Via Campesina, in 7 principles of food sovereignty, it says, everyone must have access to safe, nutritious, and culturally appropriate food in sufficient quantity and quality to sustain a healthy life with full human dignity. Yes, full human dignity. How far are we gone from this? And food sovereignty entails the sustainable care and use of natural resources, especially land, water, seeds, and livestock breeds. yes, we have to realize that natural resources such as land, water, seeds, and traditional animals are our common wealth, our common treasure. So that means that we people on local level, on local community, should decide about policy of agriculture, about how we produce food and what we produce and what we will eat every day. Like here on this picture, we are eating great food made from vegetable just collected 1 hour before from the field and cooked very nicely and served very nicely. So the basic food should be produced locally where possible, and then low-cost import shouldn't be allowed, and international rules should support this approach. Seems like it is very simple solution to produce food for local needs, for local community, and sell this food for local people. So we are wondering why it is not happen. Why we allowed that big corporations, big supermarkets decide what is on our plates. Why do we want to eat not healthy food? Do we want to eat junk food? Do we want to be ill? I'm sure no one wants to be ill, and everyone wants to live in very great healthy environment. So we have to realize that the food production is very related to the also to the environment. So we have to change this. And the question is, what has this to do with Poland? Answer is very simple. In Poland, we have a beautiful traditional farming system, which is not backwards, which is not old-fashioned, but in fact is very up-to-date. And I am often working with international organizations, and I knew, for example, I learned recently that France, England is doing big effort to change their agriculture for so-called normal agriculture. What is this normal agriculture for them? Normal agriculture is just like equal with our traditional way of agriculture. So why we think that our agriculture system is bad? Why we let ourselves to believe? And thank you this great traditional methods of agriculture, we have very rich biodiversity. We are very proud that every fourth stork on this planet, in the world, is Polish, have Polish nationality. So let's visit Poland. The basic information about Poland, we have almost 39 million people, 16 big provinces, 23 national parks, many landscape parks, and 1.5 million family farms. Great, really fantastic people, very knowledgeable, very ecological way of life living, people from whom one can learn a lot. And the majority of these farmers, keep in mind, 1.5 million, the majority of these farmers are using traditional methods of farming and ecological methods of farming. That means all is very recyclable. There is nothing waste on the farm. There is methods of neighboring, using methods of neighboring plants. There is rotation. All this which were done in the past and which is very supportive now by this modern way of agriculture, which is called ecological agriculture. But one has to keep in the mind that ecological agriculture is just the very based on traditional way of farming. This is modern name only for traditional farming. So these people are leading ecological way of life, and they base on their wisdom of generation. They know from generation to generation how to protect and prevent land, how to care with loving heart about land. And it is still natural that all farmers in Poland making preserve food for winter and store food in traditional way. And then the kitchen from farmer lady is the best laboratory, the best place to learn how to make good quality food, how to present food, how to store food. And also from these farmers we can learn so-called vanishing occupation. Thousands of Polish farmers still know how to make baskets, how to make Eastern reed, how to make clothes, how to build up traditional house. And this is our treasure. We have to realize that in majority of country, this is already lost. We have around 1 million working horses, and that's very lucky Polish people that they have farmers who can still work with working horses. Because, for example, in Western countries, in America, they put a lot of energy and a lot of money spending to try to get it back, this knowledge. And lucky Polish people that we have wise farmers who are passing their wisdom to children, not only by theory, but also by practical experiences. And in fact, one cannot learn this wisdom in the school, in academy. One should get this wisdom from other person. The wisdom has to be passed from one person to the other person. And thank you of these farmers, we have very beautiful landscape, which is very attractive for tourism. So another economical benefit. Tourists are coming to Poland for rich biodiversity. Tourists are coming to Poland because we have very beautiful landscape. And the farm is also a great place for children to grow, where they learn the values which really matter in their life and the skills which are very needed in their life. So it is up to us if these farmers will produce more food and reach their full capacity, because so far, now they produce mainly for their family. And why? The reason is simple. They can't sell their food. What the irony that they can't sell their good quality food. So we have to change. We have to change, and the question is how we can do it. Actually, answer is very simple, because it is up to us how to organize ourselves. It is up to consumers to support traditional and organic farmers, to buy, to organize and shutter this food chain, which will be ending. Then there is direct link between consumers and producers. A lot of different methods can be established where the group of consumers are organizing themselves and cooperating with group of farmers and getting very good quality food for very cheap price. And I am witnessing this. And the other very, very important solution is to put to economy different solutions which are pro-ecological. And here we have old house with photovoltaic, with panel, solar panel for heating water. It doesn't mean that I won't keep Polish countryside old-fashioned, no. I want that Polish countryside will be very modern, using all 21st century technology, photovoltaic modules, ecological houses, energy from sun, from wind, special shape, which is saving energy. And that's all can be done. And this is all up to us, consumers, to decide where our money, taxpayer money, will be put it. And we have to demand from our government that our money will be put to this, what is good for us, what is good for our health, and which is good for our environment. Polish countryside can produce energy, renewable energy, on local level and use on local level. This is another thing which need proper regulation. So we can do a lot. And the question is, and probably everyone will say, oh, small farms are not economical. I hear this 1,000 times. Okay, then I am going to say we have to change our approach. We have to change our counting. Not count the tons of something per hectare, but the count of quality of food and variety of food. And we have to put to our counting the cost of destruction of environment, which is caused by big agriculture farming. We have to count cost of different social problems which we are facing because of destroying small family farming. To opposition to family farms who are producing very good quality food, and thank you this method of their farming, also we have very nice environment. And there is no problem. These farms are the working place for millions of people. So, another point, very important, farmers don't need subsidy. They need good regulation. They need facility that they can sell their food for real price. And this is what they demand. And we have to decide what we want to get and how we want to get. If we want to have good quality food, I can hear a question, it's too expensive. No, it's not expensive because the quality food is having real price. Junk food, which we are buying in supermarket, we are paying at least 2, 3, or 4 times. We are paying for food. We are paying for doctor because this food make us sick. We are paying for cleaning environment. We are paying social problems, for example, unemployment of the small farms which are losing their job. So if we want real food, if we want biodiversity, if we want freedom, we have no other option than to support Polish family farmers and support small family farmers all over the world. And I think it is a big pleasure to support them, and they will feed us with loving heart as they were doing through century. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I brought some sample, so I have to you to decide. This is great bread from traditional farmer, very hard, good quality, good healthy, from good grain. And
Did
this
you
is
bring enough for
supermarket
everybody?
grain. In plastic, full of chemicals, GMO. So up to you to decide.